All right, so you can do this, it says using matrices there, right? We can set up a matrix in our calculator and solve it, okay? So, what you do then, before I guess we put it in our matrix, so I guess I have it here too. All right, we're gonna have an A matrix and a B matrix, okay? In the A matrix is the coefficients of your variables, the 1, -2, the 1, the 2, 1, -1, 3, 2, -2, okay? Those 6 or 9 numbers. The size of that matrix is a 3 by 3, 3 rows, 3 columns, okay? The B matrix is on the other side of the equal sign, the 7, 0, -2. That's a 3 rows, 1 column, okay? And where you get those, where you put those in, is if you look right above this X inverse button, you see matrix there. So you hit second matrix, and you get this screen, all right? So I always hit the left arrow key to highlight edit, okay? And I just use matrices A and B when I do these, okay? So you just hit enter, and now you got to give the dimensions of A. So again, it's 3 rows, 3 columns. So you 3 enter, 3 enter, and then it'll give you 9 spots. And then you just put those numbers in from the coefficients, right? And it goes across the row. You just go 1 enter, -2 enter, 1 enter, 2 enter, 1 enter, -1 enter, 3 enter, 2 enter, -2, oops, not -1, -2 enter. Anybody having issues putting that in? Okay, so you got to go to second X inverse button, which just gets you the matrix, and then highlight edit, and then just hit enter for A and put 3 by 3, 3 enter, 3 enter, and put those numbers in. All right, any issues on the A matrix? Okay. Get that today? Yeah, good. All right, now what you have to do now is right next to second, it says mode, but above it, it says quit. So hit second mode for quit. That pops you out of matrix. For some reason, you got to do that. I've never figured out how we can just go back right away into matrix B. But then we go second, X inverse for matrix again. Hit edit, and then go down to number 2 for the B matrix. Now this is a 3 by 1, so hit 3 enter, 1 enter, and then put those 3 numbers in, 7, 0, and -2. All right, so again, hit second mode right next to second, which is quit. That pops you out of the matrix. And then pop yourself back in. Second, X inverse. Oops. Second, X inverse to get back to that screen. Highlight edit again, and then go down to 2 for the B matrix. I don't know. I don't know why you're sitting there. All right. Sure. 3 enter, 3 enter. And put those numbers in. Again. That's okay. Now you put those numbers. Hit 7, then enter. And then 0 and enter. And then -2 and enter. And they should replace those. You got those in? Yeah. All right, hit second, quit. Right there. Go back, second matrix, over to edit. Then down to 2, hit enter. Now 3 by 1. Anybody else having problems? We all got them in? No, we need it. We just have to do it by hand now. When we have the quiz. All right, so hit second, quit. Okay, now, what we do, all right, when we solve equations and we move something to the other side, we always say we do the opposite, right? You guys remember all that? We said what you do, we got our rules, what you do to one side, you do the other, but when you go to the other side, you do the opposite, right? Well, another name for that is inverse, right? Do the inverse. The inverse of addition and subtraction, the inverse of multiplication and division, okay? So what we have to do now to solve this using matrices is type in A inverse. You don't have to hit the times actually, just A inverse B, and that'll give you those three numbers. Those are the answers we found yesterday when we did by hand. And it goes, X, Y, Z in order, the top to bottom. Okay, so here's how you do that now. So you go back into once you popped out of matrix again, after you got your A and B in, you go back into matrix and you just hit enter. And that'll pop up the A for you. Okay? So second, matrix, hit enter, and the A will come up for you. Then you hit this inverse button without hitting second. So that -1 goes up there for you. Then go back in to matrix and hit 2 for the B. So you go second, matrix number 2, and the B will go there. And then when you hit enter, you'll get that 2, -1, 3. Okay, but you gotta hit inverse. You gotta do A inverse B. You can't just do AB. It's gotta be A inverse B. So what you're doing is you're moving these numbers like over to the other side so that it'll solve it. Okay, so that's a lot quicker than what we did yesterday. But you guys did really well yesterday when we did those practice ones. Okay? And when we have our quiz on Friday, there'll be 2 of these that you can do using the matrices. And then there's what we did Monday, which was what? Anybody remember? We did some graphing and shading, remember? Solving a system of inequalities. Okay? So we're going to have 4 of those. And then I'm going to have a bonus problem, but you have to do it by hand of one of these. If you want to do the bonus, you don't have to do it. But the bonus one you have to do by hand, show all your work to get the bonus points. Okay, so that's why I showed you how to do it by hand, but it's okay to do it on your quiz using the calculator. Okay? Any questions on that? Okay, that's all I wanted to show you today. I have the practice quiz for you. Just work on it in class. If you don't get it finished, I'll give you some time tomorrow morning when we get here to finish it up. It's only 6 problems. And then we'll go over it tomorrow. And we'll have the quiz on, I guess that's Friday. Normal time. Yes. Yes, we do. I have to give you one. It's going to be just like the practice exam and exam, right? Easy. You're not gonna. I would definitely make sure you get your English grade up now. Every one of you are gonna pass this 9 weeks, right?
Sure.
You know why. Everybody's been doing their homework this 9 weeks, right? So we're all doing really well. Right, Michael? And Alex, or Andrew, Alex next period. Alex brought a brother's flag.
Here's the cup.
So you could get 1 and 2 done pretty quick.